Okay, this is a training on how to approach quoting and potentially locking a long-term rate lock. Okay, so I'm going to use Mortgage Coach for this. I'm going to use OB for this. So first off, the policy is here, 90-day pricing plus 2.5 for every 30 days more for each additional 30 days is how you quote. The charts listed right here. Okay, so let's run a scenario, which would be go to pricing. Okay, so I'm going to set up a quote here, 20% down. Let's do 350 purchase price. Rates are definitely very different than they were when I originally set this thing up. Okay, so let's go here. We've got actually, let's just do 500,000. It'll be easier. 400,000, 20% down. Let's do 760 FICO. Let's do here. Okay. And let's do a rate of 4.375. Let's see how the market is today. Okay, so geez, it's a little bit worse than it was yesterday. Golly, the market just keeps moving. Okay, so let's go to 4.5. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's a little bit more in line. So let's go 4.5 on this deal. Okay. I'll save this in my Mortgage Coach presentation software too. We got 0.873. Okay. This looks fine. Whatever, it's close enough. 2%. There we go. Okay. Also, if it's new construction, I would probably quote $100 a month, especially if we're doing new construction. So I'm going to put that in there. Maybe need to even quote potentially title policies. So I would probably do purchase fee. There we go, new construction, where I'm going to build in an owner's title policy and a lender's title policy. You actually need to quote that through Sturt rate policy, but let's start there. Okay, so this is our 30-day pricing. So let's build from here. Okay, so there we go, 4.5. Boom. Now let's go to match that, and then let's quote 90-day pricing. So we got 90-day pricing. In my opinion, you got, let's see here, 1.45. Okay. Then what I would do is, as a general rule of thumb, what is happening is I'm going to build that in as just a starting point. But then what I'm going to do here is probably do 60. I'm not even going to really show that option on the table. I'm just going to do that for internal, easier purposes. Let's say they want to look at a 6-month or 9-month or whatever it may be. Okay. So let's say I start with 6-month lock. Let's start there. So I've now got in here basically 90-day pricing. So what I need to do is add in an extra. If we're going to 6 months, I need to add an extra 0.75. So what I would do is I would raise the rate 0.25% probably. And I would say, okay, my pricing is 99.028, but that's 90-day pricing. So I need to minus out another 0.75. So that's 98.127. Means I'm actually there. So I would replace that number. I would put that here. And then I would also raise this rate to 4.75. Okay. And then what I would tell the customer is here's how it looks. Today's your price at 4.5. I'm going to give you a 6-month lock. The worst case scenario is your rate's 4.75 and you are paying a lock fee of $3,300. Okay, so you're paying extra. That lock fee is going to show up as an additional discount point because it is tax deductible. That's the best way to do it. And you don't have to pay that fee until closing. So you don't even have to do anything up front. But this is your worst case scenario. Are you comfortable with that? Okay, you are. Great. Let's go ahead and lock you in. Here's the thing. If rates stay the exact same and do not go up, I will float you back down to 4.5%. If rates go down even further, I will float you back down. The way it works is float down is allowed within the last 15 days if the market has moved 100 basis points. restructuring and renegotiated is allowed if you see a market dip. So if I saw that we locked them at 4.5 with this much in points, I would probably go about 30 days ahead of time. And if the market had not moved at all, I would ask for a renegotiation. So you're going to tell the customer, here's your worst case terms. If you're comfortable with this, let's go ahead and lock you in. Okay. That would be the way I would sell it. If I'm doing a 12-month lock, right, I would actually raise the rate a full 0.5% because I would need to add an extra 0.225 to the loan. So if I'm quoting at 5%, that would be 99.823 minus 2.25 would be 100, so 2.42. So that's getting a little high. Honestly, I might even go a little higher. I'd probably go to a par rate. I would do 5.25. Depending on your customer, you can't go over really more than 3 points or a high price loan. So 5. Yep. Okay. I would probably go to 5.25. And yeah, there I'm charging 2 discount points. That leaves enough wiggle room so I don't run into as much of a high price mortgage issue. And I would say here's, oops. Okay. So I would say, hey, if you want to lock for 12 months, I can do a rate at 5.25. The lock fee is a little bit more expensive. The rate is a little more expensive. The same methodology applies. Okay. And then you would just use this chart and work it out that way. You'd probably raise the, then what I explain to customers is like, hey, that 12-month or 6-month lock, it's a combination. I'm raising the rate and raising the fee to get you that extended lock term. There's nobody else that can do this. Very few lenders can do this. We can gather competitive intel, but I feel like this is probably pretty good, right? Like, so I would say that this would be how I would sell it. The other way I have sold it is this way. This is another example, Low and Sand. I gave her 2 options. I priced it out and I said, hey, this is a 15-year mortgage. Keep that in mind. I said option number 1 is you could do 3.99 and the lock fee is a little higher. If you go 4.125, it's a little bit lower. So I would call it like 12 month. You would do like option 1 and option 2, right? So you could choose like a slightly different rate here and a slightly different rate here and just charge a different amount of points. So those would be the ways I would recommend setting it up in Mortgage Coach. And then when you lock it, you need to process the lock and then email the lock desk. So hopefully this math helps you. So again, you're going to price it off 90-day pricing. That is very important. Okay. And then you are going to add an additional hit for each 30 days. So keep that in mind that when you're pricing this out for a 6-month rate lock, that is 75 basis points minusing this number from right here. That's the thing. And then you charge that a total amount of points. So that's all I have for now.